Morning guys, nice to see you all. Welcome back to Mobility Monday, and today we are starting in a march hold for 10 seconds. Okay, so you drive your knee as high as you can, keep your balance, tense your tummy, and then just do 3 sets of 10-second holds. Okay, this is quite challenging. Okay, if you're barefoot it'll be more challenging, but if you're in trainers it'll be a little bit easier. But like I said, make sure you're tensing the bum muscle that you're standing on and trying to actively drive the knee or the opposite leg towards the ceiling as hard as you can. Okay, you notice I'm a little bit more wobbly on my right foot, but yeah, it is challenging guys. Okay, but just try your best. 3 sets of 10 seconds. So once we've gone from this then guys, we're going to be going into single leg swings. Okay, so all I want you to do is do one kick, put your foot on the floor, one kick, put your foot on the floor. I'll show you from the other side. So it's almost like stretching the hamstring, stretching the hip flexor, stretching the hamstring, stretching the hip flexor. So when the foot touches down, make sure it's behind you and your tummy's tensed. So you should feel a little bit of a stretch in the front of your thigh. We'll do the same on both legs. I think I went for about 5-6 reps on each leg. But you're more than welcome to add more reps than that, guys. So you could do 8, 10, 12, anything up to 30 reps, I think. Depends how stiff you are in that area. Once you've done that, then you're going to go into a hinge. So slight bend in the knees. Shoot the hips back with a nice flat back. Then we're going to round our back and touch the floor. So hips back, nice flat back, round, touch the floor, come back to neutral, stand back up. Okay, so it's almost like hamstring stretch, a little bit more of a back stretch, back to the hamstrings, stand back up. Okay, same thing. If you feel like this is giving you a bit of feedback and you quite enjoy it, then spend more time in it. If you're not really getting much from it, you can quickly move on if you feel like it's just frustrating you, because it is a difficult movement to kind of teach yourself. Once you've done that then guys, into a deep squat, and then come a little bit higher, so a couple of inches out of your deep squat, push your knees out, push your big toes into the floor, and actively kind of tense your bum muscles. So we'll do that for just like a couple of seconds. You'll drop back to the bottom of your squat, come back up again. And this is the bottom of your squat, okay? So don't try to do the same as me. Go to the bottom of what you can do whilst keeping your feet flat on the floor. And then just stand a little bit higher, push your knees out, push your big toes into the floor, and hold for a couple of seconds. With this, guys, if you push your knees out, naturally your toes will want to come off the floor. Just obviously try not to. Once you've done that, then sit in your deep squat and actively push your knees over your feet, okay, keeping your heel down. If that's quite challenging, you find it too hard, guys, you can do one leg at a time in a half kneeling position. So again, foot flat, drive your knee over your foot, and if you notice, I'm still trying to replicate transferring some body weight over my knee to help give it a bit more resistance. So I think I'll go for 5 or 6, and then if you want to do more, you can, guys, if your ankles are stiff. Generally, my ankles are probably the only joint in my body that's quite mobile, so I don't need to spend much time in this one. Right, so once you've done that then, guys, all I want you to do is swap legs again. Actively posterior tilt your pelvis, okay? So you tuck your tailbone under, tuck your tummy in, and reach up towards the ceiling. Should be stretching this on the back leg, so your hip flexor, front of your thigh. If you can't, shimmy your foot into a different position and see if it targets basically a different area, which might be a bit stiff, okay? Because the hip socket's quite complex, so you might want to have a little bit of an experiment. Same on both sides. Again, the hold can be anything from 10 to 20 seconds, I'd say. Good. Then on both knees, focus on a point so your head doesn't move. Tense your tummy and then swing your arms across your body, trying to rotate your mid-spine. Okay, so your neck shouldn't be moving too much. Your lower back shouldn't be moving too much. You should be getting this movement primarily from the mid to upper back. Once you've done that then, guys, spread your knees as wide as you can. Put your hands on the floor. Keep your back flat and actively sit into your hips, walk out. Sit into your hips, walk out. I'll show you from the side so you can see what I'm doing with my tummy. So you don't want to let your belly button drop towards the floor. You almost want to round your back towards the ceiling a little bit. And then as you sit back, you really feel that in your groin more than anywhere. and the width in which you go. Obviously, the wider you go, the harder it's going to be, but only go as wide as what you feel you can tolerate. Only small rocks are necessary. Once you've done that then, guys, lying on your back, nice wide stance, and we're going to do a glute bridge hold for a maximum effort, okay? You can have a little bit of a play around in the position as well. Just draw your lower back into the ground, keep your stomach tensed, push your hips through. You should feel your hip flexor stretch a little bit as well, and don't go too far like I just demonstrated. So squeeze, a little bit of a hip flexor stretch if your hips are tight, tense your bum, tense your stomach, and then with your stance, you can just play around. So you can go a little bit wider, you can go a little bit narrower. Just make sure you're always pushing your knees apart. And then we'll just hold that until you feel like you kind of lose a bit of quality. So either your stomach gets tired, or your bum gets tired, or you feel like you're feeling it more in your hamstrings than anywhere else. Or that your hips are dropping, anything like that. Okay, so it's just one big hold. Once we've done that, we're going to flip onto our front and do the same thing, but with the back movement, okay? So you're going to put your head on the floor, draw your shoulder blades down and back, then pick your hands up in a W shape and hold for 5 seconds. Once you've held for 5 seconds, you're then going to do a back extension for 5 seconds and just alternate with these two. So it'll be 5 seconds on the floor, 5 seconds off the floor, 5 seconds on the floor. And with that, I would always try to make sure we're keeping those shoulder blades touching and keeping them down. If you want to make it harder, you can straighten your arms, but naturally your shoulders will start to shrug, so your shoulders will start to lift towards your ears, but just try to avoid it, okay? So down and back. 5 seconds in the hold, 5 seconds on the floor. Once you've done that then, guys, your last but one. You put one hand on your shoulder and we're going to actively rotate the shoulder joint. So don't worry too much about the back. The back will move, but we want to concentrate on getting that shoulder joint moving as much as we can. So I'll show you on this arm from this angle. And when I go onto the other arm, I'll show you from another angle. But you should see what I'm doing here, okay? That I'm just trying to get the shoulder joint moving as much as I can. So you're stretching your rear delt, stretching your pec, stretching your rear delt or back of your shoulder. If you can't feel a stretch, I wouldn't worry about it. Just basically mobilize the joint as well, okay? So this could be seen as a little bit of a stretch if you're really tight, or it could just be a case of getting your joints moving. Same with your back now. So round it towards the ceiling and then push it towards the floor. Nice fluid movements in and out of both of them just to get your back moving. Okay, so this isn't a stretch. You shouldn't really feel much from it. You just want to basically tell your spine this is what you're supposed to be able to do. So get it moving again. And then once you've done that, guys, that's a wrap. So you can repeat for a round or two, but I hope that helped. Any questions, let me know.